Subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon for the latest film interviews, features, and recommendations on the movies that matter.
Emma, Josh, the Charles and Diana story is one that most people around the world are familiar with. It's been documented extensively and intensely. And yet, was there anything that caught you by surprise or something that you found especially fascinating when you were playing these characters?
That's such a good question. Yeah, they are so well documented, and I think initially it was very hard to kind of overcome all of the information out there about them. I think we both felt quite drowned in it, to be honest. But I think, the wonderful thing is then we got the scripts and figuring out that this is, Peter's world and the characters we're playing. I really enjoyed finding out how much Diana loved to dance. Those are some of my favorite scenes to film. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I didn't know that she was such a fan of it.
Josh?
Yeah, I suppose, I don't know. I think I sort of, I enjoyed everything about them was a kind of discovery for me. And I think the kind of the more interesting discoveries to me were sort of things that you'd find, just doing a scene. I think, Emma's a brilliant actress to be like acting across from. And I suppose the kind of joy of being an actor is that you turn up and you think you've got the scene all planned out and it's like, this is what I'm going to do. And then you turn up and Emma's like doing something ridiculously, not ridiculous, doing something ridiculous good. And you're like, okay, think again. And that, like, those discoveries that you find together are often the sort of, that's like what gets you excited, I suppose.
Josh, it feels like season 3 really gave us an insight into Charles that helps us understand his actions and his heart, so that he doesn't really come off as Diana's villain in the new season. Were you grateful to have had that going into this season? And before we see what a knob he is for suggesting that she have lunch with Camilla before they're even married.
I know, that is a massive fail, isn't it? Look, Rajeev, I'm completely so unbelievably grateful to have that little period in season 3, because when I took the role on, it was I had some reservations, and one of the reservations was I was like, how the hell am I going to do this show and come off in any other than the whole world hate me? And so I suppose, the discussion was, well, look, you've got season 3, try and win over some hearts, and then hopefully you can kind of get away with some stuff. And I think, we did a little bit of that, but it was tricky, But yeah, hopefully people kind of come out from it and understand that, it wasn't just season 3, it was also the fact that Emma and I worked together to try and make the marriage believable, because all marriages, it's not as simple as one person's the villain and one person's the kind of the angel. I think that, both parties are guilty, I think.
Right. Both of you have said that you saw these people as fictional characters, as Peter Morgan's versions of Charles, and yet you do the little things that one must recognize about these people. How long did it take to sort of ace those things? The voice, Emma, the speaking through gritted teeth, Josh, the tilt, the wave. Did it take a lot of practice to just get those little things right?
They're really great on The Crown because they give you a lot of time to prepare. I mean, I got the role in March and we started shooting in September. So it was a nice chunk of time to get ready. And you do need that time because, as you said, it's a lot, and it took me a long time to kind of get them completely down. I had a really wonderful movement coach called Polly Bennett who worked with me for movement. William Conacher was my voice coach. And I think with both those things, we not only worked replicate her voice and to, include some of her mannerisms, but really to justify why she tilted her head in that way or gestured in that way, or why she spoke in the way she did. So,
Josh, for you, the cufflinks and the wave and the gritted teeth.
Yeah, I suppose I also work with Polly Bennett, who's brilliant, and William Conacher, who's also brilliant. I think, little things, those things are kind of so helpful in just getting you into that space. But beyond, it's I think the moment I always kind of feel really comfortable in a character, in a role, you've done all that work and you can sort of put it on the back burner and just focus on you know, the creation of the character, things like the cufflinks and all that. And, you know, that's all kind of great. And it sort of helps you at times. If you're ever struggling, I'd always find like, I'll just do my little cufflink trick and no one will know that I'm not doing any good acting. So it's sort of like got quite a good distraction technique. But beyond that, yeah, the exciting bit is when you're getting to act with each other and create stuff.
You know, Emma, so much of Diana's iconography was her fashion, her tiaras, that wedding dress. Was it fun recreating some of those looks and moments? And did you have to pinch yourself when you looked in the mirror sometimes?
Yeah, it was so much fun recreating those moments. I actually loved recreating some of her looks when she was younger. She wore a lot of very iconic jumpers. There was one with sheep on it and one with a llama on it or something. And yeah, it was so much fun. And I can't really, there were some moments where I really saw the similarity, but it was more hearing it from other people. I know that Olivia and Gillian and the others on the first day they saw me in costume completely freaked out. And that was really funny to see their reaction. Yeah.
You know, finally, I want to say this season suggests that contrary to the popular belief that this marriage was doomed from the start, this show suggests that there was in fact love between them, that they did in fact that marriage work. We see those in those bits when they're on tour in Australia. Did that change your own perceptions, you know, from what you perhaps, you know, believed and read and heard?
I think so. I think like one of the first things that I did in terms of research on this season was, rather than go into accounts of Diana and Charles's real life marriage, because you'll never find the truth if you look on the press or if you look through like accounts from from either Diana, who's talked about it a little bit, or Charles, who's never talked about it. It's very hard to know what the reality is. So a lot of my research was about marriage breakdown, full stop. And I think the discovery for me is that, well, first of all, Emma and I had always set out that we didn't want to tell the end of the story. And we all know the end, but that I believe there must have been love there. And I think even if that love was, you know, a different kind of love, there might, you know, I think, for instance, in episode 9, Charles is looking on at his kids and Diana in the swimming pool. I think he looks on at them and there's so much love for Diana as a mother and as a partner, but they just couldn't offer each other what they both needed. And I think that as soon as you kind of look at it as a straightforward marriage, it's much easier to kind of handle, I think.
Emma, did you want to add to that?
No, I think Josh has really hit the nail on the head. I think the joy for us was discovering the complexity and nuances of their marriage, you know, and yeah, and that was a really, really interesting thing.
Thank you. These are great performances and it's a great show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.